One. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 136, surprise episode, kind of the
Sort
KBMOD
of, yeah.
podcast. Post PAX, somewhat, with two of the people that were at PAX at least.
This was a surprise to me. If that makes
Yeah.
anybody feel better.
It's also a surprise to Hex, who's probably sleeping somewhere right now.
Rippy dippy.
To be fair, it's Hex.
Nick is actually in my room right now because we were just at the movies, so we're doing this in the same room. It's
What movie
definitely
did you
a
see?
sacrifice.
Let's
It's
just
a
go right
sacrifice.
into that.
It's a sacrifice from your whole "we're not gay together"
Yeah,
campaign.
Well, yeah, where I was also sitting with a rave light on at my desk in the dark. So it is a little weird, but yeah, we've got. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna talk. If you guys are gonna talk much PAX at this podcast or what. I mean, we can talk.
Yeah,
we can do it.
We'll talk a bit. What movie did you guys see?
Just saw Oculus.
Oculus. I haven't even heard of this.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's about a mirror, not the Oculus Rift, unfortunately. But
It is they're so on point with topical movies now that there's already an Oculus Rift horror movie.
Yeah.
I'm protesting to see that movie because I don't like Facebook acquisition.
God damn it.
Facebook is creepy, to quote my favorite developer, Notch.
No one told me we were getting Notch as a guest on the podcast.
I hope we can get Notch on the podcast sometime, so we can go in.
I'll quit.
Oh, you'll quit?
I'll fucking quit.
I'll go
It's
in.
not
the end
allowed
of
on this podcast. It's shit games on Xbox and PS3.
That's true.
It's
Right.
fucked up.
It'll never happen. No, overall we liked it. It was.
I would give it a 75.
I agree. I
My
think
review scale
75.
is different though, where 50 is the average movie.
Why does your review scale have to be different? Why
Because
can't you
it's
just
not-
do a
because,
normal
like,
review scale?
compared
That's
to,
how
like-
I feel about it too.
Compared to a lot of people would put the average movie at between a 65 to 75,
Yeah.
right?
It's like
Probably.
the American education system.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
you're
yeah,
protesting that?
It's not like grades, but it's like a 75.
Yeah. It's good. I think it's worth seeing. It was as far as horror movies go, pretty solid. But so yeah, we did that, and then anyway, I'm trying to think. Well, we can get into what we've been getting. I mean, your answer is going to be probably very detailed, and we'll go into the PAX stuff. But that's where
Yeah,
we've
I
been
mean, did you guys play any video games this week?
Man, I didn't play too much. League of Legends, as always. Did I play anything else? I'm trying to think.
I played
I don't think so.
Smite. I played.
Here we go.
I played a couple of games of Dota against bots.
Oh yeah, I saw your
trying-
tweet. Why?
Over the past couple of days, I've been doing that. I'm just trying to fucking
Learn?
acquaint it again because there's so much new stuff now, and it's just like, oh god, I have no idea what these characters.
Stop
do.
moving away from the microphone and rocking. Can you just talk like a normal-
It's like a horror movie grandma.
Moves away from the mic to breathe
This
in.
is not happening again in these conditions. I will protest it. Good God.
But all right. Well, before I left, I beat Dark Souls 2. So that was a thing.
How was the ending? Were you satisfied?
I mean, it's Dark Souls, so the ending is just kind of like everything's horrible again.
Are there multiple endings in Dark Souls? I don't even know. Like,
Yeah,
can you
there
get-
are. There are multiple endings. They both suck for everybody. Everyone in the game. They both suck for all the characters.
They're not happy endings.
Yeah, no, there's nothing happy about Dark Souls. Not even a little bit.
You.
Oh, is that a hex I see online?
Oh.
Don't
No.
let him in.
I lied.
Conceal, don't
It
feel.
was actually not.
It was actually not.
God damn it! I didn't say the date, so there you go, Tropical. God, it is April
The one
14th,
guy.
2014. You know, yeah, I got to do it though. You're right. I didn't say it. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
So yeah, I beat Dark Souls 2. Another masterpiece by From Software. They're good at what they do. But I do think they were saying it was going to be easier, and I do think it is easier than Dark Souls 1. You can actually see your total deaths at the end of the game, at least on PS3 and Xbox. I don't know if it will allow you to.
They should
on
do the
PC.
thing like in Super Meat Boy where you can see all of your deaths, but like it
God.
plays through the
How
entire
the hell would it
hour
press
for
the
hour of Dark Souls. You just watch it. So it's
Yeah,
like
super speed.
30 to 40 hours of you like watching yourself
Oh, yeah.
die. However many hours it is.
Well, it took me 40 hours and 39 minutes to beat the game. that was 2 hours quicker than Dark Souls 1. In Dark Souls 1, I had a ton of help. There are no cock blocks in Dark Souls 2. That's kind of the issue I have with it, because there should be something, or a boss that's just ridiculous. I took the path of least resistance in a lot of cases, though, because I did a lot of summoning of other people to help me with bosses. So if you did it with no summons, it would be probably 10 hours longer. So I mean, it's a bigger game. It's a much bigger game. It's huge, actually. But I died 221 times. So
did they like show averages or anything like that, like The Walking Dead and all that, or like the
no,
choices?
all you can do, and you have to actually like. So what you do on PS3 and Xbox is you would disconnect them from the internet, and then load up your saved game, and then there's a monument in the like hub town. And since it's no longer online, it can only use your game deaths. So I think it's only going to work on a first playthrough, too.
Okay.
Because I think if you roll another
okay.
character, it will also show you those deaths. So I took my PS3 offline, reloaded the game, then went in and I had 221. There's something like 165,000 or 165 million deaths on PS3 the day I beat it. So that's a lot of death. Yeah, but I'm very much looking forward to it on PC, which actually I should add to... I'll just talk about it now. Fuck it.
Do it.
Dark Souls 2 PC is definitely the version to play. It got announced, or not announced, but there was footage out there, and the embargo was lifted for news sites and all that kind of stuff. And it looks super good. It's 60 FPS the whole time, which if it was 30...
I heard you talking about... I feel like we're on a delay.
No, we're not on a delay. Can you
I
talk
don't
close
think
to
so.
the microphone? We're not.
No, I feel I heard you say that like the high frame rate like is messing up people.
Turn off your cam, and then we'll see if it helps.
We don't want to see your sparkly shit.
Oh, I almost hung up the call. There we go.
All right, there you go. We'll see
Try
if it
now.
helps. Test.
Hi. That wasn't a delay. That was just a delayed response.
Okay. All right, cool. So it's 60 FPS all the time. I would not be surprised if the console version wasn't 20 FPS a lot of the time.
Yikes.
There were some rough, which actually makes the game harder, according to a few news sites that played through it, because now you don't have these slow ass this frame slowdown to help you get through swings a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So, but the lighting effects from the E3 videos and stuff are not in there, but it does look better. It does flat out look better. It also has all the graphical, options and works right out of the box, unlike Dark Souls, which you needed a mod just to use. So all that stuff works well. So yeah, overall, it looks like the version to play. And those of you who waited, I mean, it sucks to wait, but
Right. So what do you say about that, though, Dan? Was it worth it to? You had to play it.
Yeah, I would have been committing ritual suicide at some point during. I was way too hyped for that game to miss it. I will never play it again on PS3 though. So I essentially got one playthrough of it for $60, but it was nearly 60 hours. So I mean, I could get a lot more hours out of it too. Plus, I can play it in my living room now if I want to. So, but I don't regret it. But it is actually sad to see how ridiculously bad a PS3 is.
Well, it's last gen now, technically.
Yeah, I know. But
I still have nothing to contribute. I'm sorry I can't contribute to this because I'm one of 4 people here, so I'm 1/4 of the podcast. But I still can't say anything because I don't want to ask any questions because I don't want to know anything about it until I go in.
I'm not going to tell you any.
Yeah,
gameplay
no, I
stuff.
know. It's just...
basically PC version is the good version. So our audience.
Well, that's a relief because it was still kind of up in the air. We weren't exactly sure if it was really going to be better. We just assumed it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, because they said they had to tone it down because of the limitations of the consoles that they were working on. So everyone was pretty sure. But then again, the port for the last game was just so goddamn bad. And then, But it just of course they said they were trying to do it better, but were they really going to? But so it's a relief to find that out at least. But that was like the only question
And,
I had.
a few more things about the PC version and the game in general, though, that will be of interest and not spoilers. The loading times between fires when you fast travel in the game is like 30 seconds on console. So imagine that and you have to port back to town to level. So imagine how much time that actually builds up to. It's about 2 seconds on PC, the loading time.
Nice.
So
Sounds like Fallout and Skyrim on console.
yeah, I've seen Skyrim console loading screens.
Apparently there was like an
Rough
issue
Tims.
with I think it was New Vegas where it would I think it's also on Skyrim too. Is it like the longer you played, the longer your load time would just increase. It would just get worse and worse and worse. Where it would take like 5 minutes to load.
Yeah, I think it's
Stark
because
had that issue after his 500 hours or whatever on the on the Xbox 360 versions. Yeah, exactly what you said. He said he would every time he would load a new area, he would just go and make a cup of coffee or something, wait 5 minutes. It's just fucking insane.
Yeah, that was like the biggest thing, and many news sites were like, that is actually to us, the people who already played through it, like for reviews or whatever, we're all like in total relief because now there's only 2 seconds of load time to go back to town. The other thing is that game, well, Dark Souls had it as well. I don't know if Demon Souls did, but once you beat the game, it doesn't throw you right into New Game Plus, so you can 100% if you want. Like you can.
That's good. I
continue
didn't like that about Dark Souls.
The other thing is when you do New Game Plus, it isn't just. Did you do any New Game Plus Blah at all?
A tiny bit.
Yeah. So basically, it just added slots and a lot more health. Basically, like that was it. There was no different stuff. In Dark Souls 2, when you get to New Game Plus, enemies will have new behaviors. There will be enemies where there weren't enemies before. There's different items in some cases. So, some cool changes there. It's not really spoilers. It's more just like, hey, there's a reason.
Yeah,
to do
no,
this,
I
kind
don't.
of a-
That doesn't bother me.
So.
Therefore, it isn't allowed to bother anybody who hasn't played the game yet.
So, other than that, I did play some Hearthstone again, which I hadn't played in 2 months or so.
It's exciting.
And I won 6 games in a row on ranked, and then just stopped playing, and I haven't touched it again since the other day. I started playing WoW again. So, yeah, I started playing that, started leveling a shaman for the hell of it on stream. Yeah. But minus
Solid.
PAX East stuff.
Yeah. What? You're gonna be the same blah or what?
I really didn't. I can't even remember what I played before PAX. It was.
You don't even remember who you are right now.
I have no idea who I am. I'm
There's a lot of
mostly
trick
piecing
that's-
together my identity from my Twitter feed right now.
You might be
which
Jason
says,
Bourne. It's possible.
Yeah, which says a lot about who I must have been because my instinct was to gravitate back to my Twitter feed. I just followed it
Yeah,
like
that's
a
true.
turtle hatching on the beach. Just like I gotta find the ocean. Like, it's like that with Twitter.
So,
But just like regular stuff, Risk of Rain, a little bit of WoW, mostly to complete my raid lockouts for the week, and Hearthstone. I've been playing Hearthstone a lot. I've been getting more and more into Hearthstone, but I don't like talk about it because I don't. Oh, I'm sorry, I do tweet about it. I tweet about it a lot.
You do
but I don't
tweet
talk
about
about it. I tweet about it because it frustrates me. Because like there's so many just dumb things in that game because it's like every other Blizzard game where the community is incredibly like cookie cutter, like everybody has to follow everybody else's example. Like that one guy figures out this is how you win, and then everybody does exactly what that guy does. So every time you play, even in like casual games now, you're either going to be playing aggro warlock, aggro hunter, or sometimes like aggro warrior. That's like those three are like 75% of my games. So it's like that. So you get annoyed at like the same bullshit that goes on and on. So I get frustrated. So I tweet about it a lot, and it's just. But I don't like to advertise too much that I'm playing it because I suck at that game and I want to be good at it, and I'm just not. But that's all I did pre-PAX. Just same
Well.
old stuff.
So then, PAX East was this weekend.
Apparently.
So
Fuckers.
there were many games at PAX East. I'll just go through what I actually played, which is a very short list.
Same.
So I played Ultra Street Fighter 4, of course on Xbox, because PC build isn't anywhere yet. But yeah, Ultra Street Fighter 4, it's still Street Fighter. You know, it's a good thing. Red Focus is cool. I'm just going to talk about games, you know, specifically right now. We can also talk about other things that happened. But I played Ultra Street Fighter 4. I played a game called There Came an Echo. And this game is interesting because it is completely voice controlled. You can use a mouse to like move the map around, but other than that, it's completely voice controlled. So
that is weird,
dude. If you get to see this game, it should be out in like October, I think they said. Whether you, like Machinima does it and you go on a stream for them or something, like it is the weirdest experience to start because your initial keyboard, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
Like at all. So I like wanted to put my hands in like WSAD and like regular game playing position, and then I was like, this is pointless. This doesn't do anything. So
like an obvious Tom Clancy's N-War ripoff. Remember that?
It's so freaking weird though. So it's like an XCOM game type thing or a Shadowrun, like you see an isometric view of the battlefield and like there's cover and your guys have abilities and that kind of thing, but you direct all the action with your voice, and it works incredibly well. Oddly, it works incredibly well. Like, because in your head, you're like, it worked well on the PAX floor. So if that tells you anything, like using a headset mic on some creative sound mic, it worked. You essentially go like, they had like their sort of like tutorial room, where you can just spawn enemies. So I was like, spawn enemy soldiers, and they spawn. And then you're like, you can name the characters anything you want. So some dude was at that booth, and he renamed all his characters like horrible shit, like Butt Stallion. And so he's just like, Butt Stallion, go to B1. And then like, because there's points on the map so that you can tell them exactly where to go.
It's good that it can recognize Butt Stallion.
Yeah, no, you can have it right. Literally anything that is English words, and they're working on other languages. It will.
Whereas other games with voice commands, it's usually like it just recognizes specific phrases and stuff like that, like keywords.
So you'll be like, one of the characters' default name was like Corin, I think. So it would be like, Corin, fire on target 1, or all focus fire on target 4, or shields up, or use skill 1. Like, it's crazy. It all works though, and it works instantly. You cannot.
Cool. That's what young gamers need as they play their games in their den. They need to shout commands at their computer.
Yeah.
I'm sunk into my beanbag chair with a microphone.
As the girl in their dreams comes over to try to talk to them, they're like, "Oh, sync B1."
I try to plug my microphone into my mother. Please, cook me more frozen dinners.
Well, the immediate problem I thought of was this game will be impossible to stream.
Oh yeah, true.
Especially for someone like me, who talks to their chat a lot.
Right, talk to chat.
You'll be like,
it's true.
Well, I'm sorry, I missed part of the description and I didn't play this. Was this turn-based?
no, it's live action.
Okay, then yeah, that would be impossible to stream unless it has like a pause function like FTL, and even then it would be frustrating for the stream to watch because you'd be stopping it.
Well, you can
every
pause
2 seconds whenever
you can pause, but if you accidentally were like, no, the reason I didn't unpause, and then the game would unpause.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This actually does sound like a more advanced version of Endor, which had voice commands, and it was out.
Like, I'm not kidding though. It works super well. Like, I'm not. It's just weird. Like, I was like, why is this? Part of me was like, why is this a thing? Like, I would love watching the demo. I was like, man, I would love to just play this game like a normal game. Like, that would be great.
You know how you would get back if you were streaming it is that you would name like a character Xbox on and then another one Xbox off. So anyone listening with speakers, it would play through and it would turn their Xbox ones on and off.
That is a troll.
You could do that. Does PS4 doesn't have that shit. So
no.
What's another Xbox command that'd be horrible? Just Snap. Just go Xbox
yes.
Snap.
Snap.
Yeah.
X hamster.
Oh, this
X
could be.
hamster.
People watch me on Xbox One when I stream this game. I also played. The only other game I actually played was a game called Rollers of the Realm, and I'm pretty sure it's a one-man development team. They were in the indie booth that has like a million games in one booth, kind of thing. And it is a pinball RPG, which yes sounds weird, but it works super well. So the stages are all pinball, but you actually get XP, and all the characters are also the balls you're playing with. The balls you're playing with. So each ball behaves differently though on the board. So there's like a night ball, and because he's in full armor, he moves slower, but he can like bust through objects on the board. He also has like his special move is like he can block your ball with his shield from falling, if you miss. And there's like 20 to 25 characters in the game, I think they said, by the end. And you can actually customize them. Like, you can buy gear for the character, which will change how the ball controls. And there's going to be like 50 or 60 stages in it. It actually has a story that you play through. It's awesome. It's actually awesome. We're going to be getting a beta build of that game. It should be out sometime this summer in full release, but we're going to be able to stream it. We actually said to this guy, this is why I think it's a one-man dev team. We were like, yo, we really like this game. Here's our card. Like, we'd love to stream it on Twitch. He's like, you would stream my game on Twitch? We're like, yeah, we like the game. We would like to play it for people. And so he was
easy to impress.
Yeah, he was super excited. So what did you play?
Well, first one I want to get out of the way because I'm going to forget if I don't talk about it right away is the game where you supposedly throw tanks with your mind. That game's bullshit.
What?
Okay, so there was a
the
game
thing with the little band that goes around your head. I saw pictures of you in it.
Yeah, somebody I think it was Diction or no, maybe Nikon. I don't know. Somebody tweeted a picture.
It reminds me of the little Jedi toy that's out on the market where you put that on. And it's supposed to like read your brainwaves. You move a ball around.
Oh god.
Yeah, that's what it is. It reads your brainwaves. It has it's a little headband. It's got a little thing right here. It sticks to you. Something that clips to your ear for some reason. I don't know.
They just put random shit all over your head.
Yeah, I don't know. This lady was like wiping my head off with like a fucking wet nap and shit. I'm like, what are you doing, bitch? Like,
I feel like there's no commercial technology for video games that would cost a small amount that would be able to read like specific parts,
like
and
brainwaves.
And
that's what it's doing.
It would just
Here's
be like
the fun
based on
part.
intensity, wouldn't it?
Here's the fun part. You don't even actually throw the tanks or whatever with your mind. I also couldn't even get a tank to move, but it's basic FPS
Maybe you brain
controls.
dead. Ah!
Basic FPS controls, okay? It's WASD, spacebar to jump, and then move and look with the mouse. And then right-click, and I think it was just actually only just right-click in order to use whatever action you currently had selected, and then like 1 through 8 to select what action you were doing. Okay. And the whole brainwaves come into play only to manage resources that allow you to then use those abilities. So you would have like push, pull, lift, and it was all like your character had psychic abilities, and it was powered by your brain supposedly. And like there was 2 classifications of abilities. There was focus and there was calm. So you could be both at the same time, but if you were more like focused on exactly what you're doing, and you could actually feel this moving, this part was legitimate, your focus bar would raise, and then you would have that much resource to contribute to using any ability that required focus, which was more offensive abilities. And for defensive abilities, you had to calm yourself down, and that would raise your calm meter, and then you would use that. But at the end of the day, it was like a really uninteresting game where you were just like, it was like a really uninteresting physics game where you're trying to like squash other players with like trucks and like spike balls and shit. But it was kind of bullshit because at the end of the day, the only thing it was actually reading your brain to do was raise and lower 2 bars. So it was kind of, yeah.
I think that kind of stuff would be cool for like a puzzle game or something.
Yeah, right. Like
maybe even a horror game. Like, actually, wasn't that a thing? I think someone did something like that where it was like they read like brainwaves while playing horror games, and made them like play scary shit, and then like they learned to like manage their.
Sounds
fear.
familiar, but I don't.
Yeah,
maybe it. Yeah, I don't know. But I got to play Shovel Knight again, which they had a brand new build for it, with 2 whole new levels. They had an easier level and a harder level. And the game looks fucking fantastic. It looks even better than it looked last year. I mean, they got it better. They got a ton of money from Kickstarter, but it feels great. It's just as tight as it was always. It's just a damn good game. It's a great old school game. If you like Mega Man and Castlevania, it's basically a blend of those two games. It looks like an NES game. They honestly nailed this aesthetic so well.
Mhm.
It looks like an NES game with a more diverse color palette, steady, non-flickery 60 frames per second, and slightly smoother animations in certain areas. Like some of the one boss in the one level had like amazingly smooth animations, and it looked really good. But like it honestly looked like a really beefed up NES game. They nailed that feel that they were going for so well. I also played. I went uncontested top score both days that I played it on every level that I tried. I was getting a consistent like 1,000-point lead on the next highest because they had a scoreboard.
Mhm.
I played Nosgoth twice, which a bunch of games that I played I didn't realize were like already in early access. So I mean, Nosgoth is really fun. Nosgoth is set in the Legacy of Kain universe. I think it's currently early access. Somebody was just saying, and it's like a 4v4 third person. It's shooters if it's like a shooter if you're a human, and more of like a third person like brawler if you're a vampire. But it's like an asymmetrical multiplayer game. So you have you play around as humans and you play around as vampires, and generally speaking, like humans are really good at being ranged and not being in the fray,
Right.
and vampires are really powerful in melee. And and there are some factors that balance that. Like humans can sprint, vampires are generally just faster at a run speed, but vampires can also parkour, free run everywhere, and like climb on top of buildings that humans can't access.
Mhm.
I'm also absolutely getting destroyed by this vampire team. But they have a couple different classes. There's currently only 3 classes in the game, and one thing that's bothering me so far, there's a couple of complaints I have. So far, they lock one of the 3 classes on each side until I think until you hit level 10. You can't even play the 2 other classes. But people who have been playing for a while or people who have paid extra money can. And it's not like they're more OP or anything, and actually they're generally high skill classes, which is why they lock them, but I just don't think that makes any sense, despite the fact that yeah, sure, they're more high skill, but like that doesn't fucking matter. Like, let people learn how to play the game, you know? But I personally think it's really fun. There's a really nice diverse range of abilities for each class to use. Classes can swap out abilities, which makes them a little bit more customizable. So you'll like say you're a vampire, you're stalking an alchemist. You're like, well, this won't be too hard if she only has like the flame wall ability, or this won't be too hard if she has like the healing ability. But if she has like a flame ability, I might be in trouble, and you don't know which one she's equipped. So there's a lot of diversity there. My main problem is though it's running on a free-to-play model, and it's doing the old Blacklight Retribution thing where you can either rent it or permabuy it with in-game currency. I think all real money purchases are permanent, but if you're buying it with in-game currency...
Is rental sustainable? That's the main question.
Rentals look very sustainable, yes. Rentals are very cheap. I personally don't like doing that, and I think that was a major part of what ruined BLR for me, which is funny for me to say because we ended up getting all of those items permanently.
We have everything in that game.
Yeah.
I never went back to it after that, but what originally ruined it for me the first time was that free-to-play model, I think. And they do that, and I've been playing this game for, according to Steam, 5 hours today, which is a shitload, because it is really fun, but I can't afford to buy a single goddamn thing permanently. I've been playing for 5 fucking hours. To be fair, the beta really doesn't have that many people in it. It really needs more people to fill it out, so finding a match takes forever.
Okay.
But, hopefully that'll be remedied once, but, like, regardless... The amount of time I've spent playing this game, I should have at least been able to have bought like a weapon or something, and I just haven't been able to. It feels really like they need to lower the costs or something, or just don't do that shit. I hate try before you buy. Like random drops are the way to go. There's a reason TF2 works so goddamn well. What else did I play? War of the Vikings, which is the new game from Paradox,
Which comes out the 15th on early access.
Yes, it comes. Actually, it's already in early access.
Yeah, well, you can buy it.
It's $20 if you get early access, $25 if you get it afterwards. But I was talking to the developer, really nice guy, one of the developers. I think he was actually the lead of the project. I forget what his actual title was, but it's very comparable to Chivalry. The medieval combat kind of thing, except it's third person, and it feels a lot tighter than Chivalry, but it still feels like appropriately clunky for like medieval combat.
It's supposed to build off War of the Roses, actually.
Yes, yeah, he did say like War of the Roses. Unfortunately, I hadn't played War of the Roses, so
which is very clunky, by the way.
Yeah, and he said like that's what we were going for with War of the Roses, but we felt we just didn't quite hit it. So we were gonna give it another shot with this game, and a lot of people have been giving us good feedback about how the game feels, and that's definitely like where it's at. It definitely feels very, very good. And there's a lot of good strategy involved too. I mean, like one thing I need to remind myself always when I play these games at cons is that I feel like I'm really good when I play it at the cons because all these like fucking nerds are just they're there and they're not necessarily good at games. But once you get online, everyone is so much better. But I still felt like I was able to dominate in that game on the floor, and I was just like really psyched about it. But there's a lot of good strategy, like all the preset classes. You can customize your classes in the game, but all the preset classes had like a small range throwing weapon or something, and you had limited amounts that you could throw. But like I'd be a guy who's like running around this big two-handed axe and like no shield, so we really had no way to like close the distance between him and any like bow using dudes. But like so I'd be charging a guy with like no cover. And I want to hit him in the face with my damn axe, but he's about to shoot me in the face with his damn bow. So I just whip out like a throwing knife and throw it in his face to disrupt his aim, and then charge him down with the axe. It was really fun. That was one of my favorite things I played. And big shout out to Eat My Diction because he got me. He put in a good word with me. I got to skip the line on that one. Same cannot be said of Evolve, which I wanted to play, but
let's talk about that game.
Yeah, Evolve was. The line was like minimum 4 hours, and they capped it at 4 hours. So basically, it was forever. There was no minimum.
So for those who don't know, or maybe
forever maxed out.
Scott and Nick have probably heard of Evolve at this point. Maybe not though. Basically,
it's Left 4 Dead 2 guys or Left 4 Dead 1 guys.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 1 guys with 2K money behind them now,
and it looks pretty dope.
It does look dope.
Everyone who played it said it was really good.
That's wonderful. I have a feeling, just looking at this game, that
Dan, what are you saying, Dan? Just say it.
Evolve is going to be dead 2 to 3 months after launch. You will only find a game. You will only find a game with your friends after that.
So Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. So
I honestly,
my worry for that game is that it's all based on like as time goes on, things change. Hence the name Evolve. It's that you have to replicate. Like they showed a video of it, like a little walkthrough that they did of one of the maps, and it's like, yeah, you have one map for that. Like, how many maps are you gonna have? Are they all gonna? Is it gonna be like a similar thing? Or are all the stages gonna be the same? Like, I would like to have like different kinds of progression in those maps and like maybe different types of monsters. I don't know. That's probably in the pipeline.
Think about how much modding helped the Left 4 Dead games. This game will not be moddable. I would almost put my,
2K is kind of
really
been a little bit about that. A little bit.
Really, I think they might have wanted it moddable, but now that that's behind it, like, I don't know. I don't think so.
We'll see. Honestly,
is it only multiplayer? I could not figure this out.
I think so.
Maybe they'll put in like bots and stuff.
Could be. I mean, yeah, it might be.
I would like that. That would be.
Do we know if it's going to be $60?
I would bet no game with a booth that size isn't going to be $60.
Well, then it's definite no purchase for me.
And although many of the developers who are on the 2K payroll are good dudes, whoever 2K is outsourcing to like run their cons,
yeah, they just put fucking.
They're fucking terrible. Pick a new company for whatever. Like I assume this is I assume that 2K just like hires somebody to handle their cons. Their employees are such fucking dicks. I was like, I wanted to play Evolve, but there's no way I was gonna wait that amount of time. I just didn't have the time during any of the days to sit in a line for 4 hours.
If you wait for anything for 4 hours, you should fucking.
There's something possibly wrong with you.
There were people waited 2 hours to see Destiny.
2 hours is my limit.
And guess what? It was the exact same presentation from the press conference.
Awesome. But that I went up and asked, and like I was like, it's a long shot, but I'll at least just ask somebody. Say I'm on some lame nerd podcast. Will you let me through? I went up and asked the guy. He
Confidence
was like,
in our brand. Thanks, bro.
yeah. I wasn't actually. I wasn't gonna. I was gonna hype it to them, but
Yeah.
But that's what you think, though. That's what you really.
that's what I think.
Cool,
We're a
thanks.
2-bit chump show. But we so I went up and asked the guy. He was like, I'm just a line guy. You gotta go ask that guy. So I go and ask that guy. He's like, you gotta ask the guy at the desk. They literally passed me in a circle around the booth, and no one basically was like, no, I'm not the right guy to talk to. Nobody wanted to help me. Nobody wanted even to tell me no. They all just wanted to tell me go talk to somebody else. That's that was wonderful.
Also, speaking of 4 hours in line, at least Evolve is a new game with tons of hype. People were waiting 2 hours to play Titanfall.
Yeah, what the shit
Really?
was that?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Titanfall
Can
had
we
a booth.
get those names of those people and just have the government just wipe
Dude,
them out?
it was constantly full. It was
I know
on
we have
Xbox
drones.
One,
Can
and it
we
was
use
constantly
Yeah,
full.
can we use the drones for something good?
Yeah.
What?
Like, yeah.
How?
Yeah.
That really makes me mad. That is the stupidest thing I've
That
ever
game
heard.
is out. That
people that
happened
go
with
to the
Borderlands
Borderlands
2.
booth.
That happens with Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
I don't know who does that.
That game was on a summer sale, and then it was at Prime, and people were still waiting in line.
Although
It was like,
speaking
what
of
the fuck are you
Borderlands,
I
speaking
can
of
only assume
Borderlands,
those people are people that like only go to like cons like once a year and they don't play games outside of it or something. I don't know.
Go
That's
ahead, Blah.
Really? Is someone gonna drop the $90 for the weekend to
Maybe
like
not.
just go play a game
I don't know.
like that?
Maybe.
Like if they don't play games regularly? That seems really weird.
I guess.
So Borderlands pre-sequel.
So Borderlands, yeah, they're coming out with the pre-sequel, which is it's between Borderlands 1 and 2, which is why it's called that. And my friends really wanted to go see a panel. My real life friends that I went with, my hometown friends, I should say, that I went with. They really wanted to see the panel. So I was like, all right, I don't really have anything else going on today. I'll go and check it out with you. Everything looks cool. I mean, Gearbox is, a bunch of really cool dudes. They talked about some other stuff they had going. I think Borderlands 2 is coming to Vita, and it's like the full game, which is really cool. It was developed by the guys who did Dive Kick, the handheld version. And then they gave there was actually a good part where Cliffy B came out. They had a kid like come up on stage, and like I'm not a big fan of Cliffy B, but this was perfect for both Cliffy B fans and haters alike. They had this kid. They picked this kid out of the audience. He came out, he won some shit, and then they're like, here, take a selfie with Cliffy B. And Cliffy B came out. He had nothing to do with the panel. And he was like, they didn't even give him a mic.
I find that hilarious, actually.
He came up, he snapped a selfie with Cliffy B, and then he was like, all right, get out of here. And Cliffy B left. He was on stage for
That's
like 20
awesome,
seconds.
actually.
It was hilarious. But then they gave every single person in the audience the pre-sequel for free.
Whoa.
Hold on, let me cover the code just in case some nerd is like going to CSI enhance it. This shit they handed it's upside down. This shit they handed out to every single person in the audience, and we all got the game for free when it comes out. And there was a lot of people in that panel.
Speaking
it
of Dive
was
Kick,
in like the big ballroom.
Johnny Gat is in Dive Kick.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wait, in the expansion?
Yeah, in the edition, which came free if you already own the game.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Shit.
Johnny Gat is in the game
Excellent
now.
name.
Wait, who are all the new characters? How many characters are there now?
I think there's
Or
2.
how many got added?
I think there was another one as well. They balanced a lot of shit. Like S-Kill can't teleport, so you can't get fucked this year at the,
Good.
at the
The
tournament.
fucking broken ass character.
Yeah.
If you don't play diver kick, you're basically a fuckboy.
Yeah.
Did play a game. It was an indie game. I forget the development studio's name. I believe the game was called Not a Hero, which was an
I saw
awesome little
that.
indie game. It was pixel based, and Nick Fenton already hates it. But you're basically, it's like a 2.5D like cover based shooter where you have like random objectives. Like kill all the dudes on in this building, put up a bunch of posters for some reason, and one of the characters is the Jesus from The Big Lebowski.
Okay, that's all. I'm in actually now.
And his idle animation is a pelvic thrust, a very graphic pelvic thrust. It's pretty goddamn excellent.
Wow.
I didn't like him as a character though. I felt his downside was a little too much of a downside. Each character is actually different, but it was pleasantly difficult. It was nice, fast paced, tight controlling. And the devs are total trolls. Well, as soon as I sat down to play it, have you ever seen those ISO glasses, the isometric view glasses, where it's just 2 mirrors on your eyes and it just makes your vision point down? He was like, here, check it out. We have Oculus support, and put them on my face, and then I had to play the game like this so that I could see the screen. Hardballer thought that they actually tricked me and that I actually believed that was enhancing my gameplay experience. Because Hardballer's special.
So, my biggest surprise of the show, though, was seeing Warlords of Draenor in action. It looks like
God.
a whole new fucking
Amazing.
game. It doesn't
I didn't
look
play it,
like
but
World
it
of
looks
Warcraft anymore.
So good.
Like,
It honestly, like, well, that's so important because WildStar is about to come out, and apparently they've already got a ton of pre-sales. And it, unlike WoW, it looks like it doesn't look like shit. And now WoW isn't going to look like shit. It actually looks really fucking good.
I didn't see the original.
what'd you say?
It's
Sorry, go ahead.
not catch that or
We're looking at the pictures of the what is it, United or American?
US
of the
Airways.
airplane in the
I
vagina.
haven't seen the airplane
Oh,
in
yeah.
the vagina, and I've seen it in
So
the
much
vagina.
fail
for the
today
first
on
time.
Twitter. But yeah, no, Warlords of Draenor looks amazing. Like, I could not believe it. And I was like, that's what got me started to play WoW again this weekend. Because I was like, man, that looks ridiculous.
I need to look at footage of it.
It's
Is it still on the same engine? Is it just like a texture?
it is the
rehaul,
same
or-
engine, and they've
So it's just texture rehauls.
they've
like,
done it
some insane-
again. Like,
I
but
believe
all
they-
the attack animations look like nice and beefy, like Diablo now.
yes.
It's. I mean, it's been It's been almost 10 years, right?
Yeah, it is the
Yes.
difference between Portal 1 and Portal 2, which if you don't think is a big difference, go back and play them. It
Yeah,
is huge.
it's like visual polish, basically.
Yeah, but it's a game that needed it very badly.
But it's like, yeah, after 10 years, like we're at the point in an MMO where you can increase that, and like technology is at the point where people
Yeah.
can get by.
It's still crazy though that
Yeah,
they've
it is still
iterated
crazy.
this much. Like, and they've changed
I
the
think it's
file
crazy
system.
that they make the water move in that game.
Yeah, they changed the file system in Draenor, and I can't speak to if this is actually a huge difference, although they say it is. Because I was again, that was like a 4 or 5 hour line to play to play Warlords of Draenor. So, but the graphical difference is massive. They redid the entire file system of the game, so now load time should be a lot shorter, and
Yep.
performance should be a lot better on all types of machines. So, I mean, pretty crazy though. They've milked the engine for 10 years and they just keep iterating on it and keep iterating on it. And
Is that their own engine?
yeah, they
That's
built
funny.
that from scratch.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
I wonder
to
if
look
they'll stick with like a modified version for their next MMO, or if it might be like a second iteration, like a.
I think
a
part of
full
the,
length.
I mean, they were building a new one for Project Titan or whatever before they
Yeah.
scrapped it. So, who knows? I mean,
I'm
it's
probably
just crazy.
probably going to be the same kind of technology then.
It's
Or
just
just
crazy.
become
I remember
iterative.
back when that game would literally eat your RAM. Like,
When
you
you
had to
I
be
don't
out
think
of
you know
sound.
what literally means.
No sound. I remember you saying that people had worked with no sound.
I played with no sound for 4 or 5 years in WoW because my
frames
FPS
somehow.
would drop in half and I couldn't play. So, yeah, so it's come a long way from that. PAX, let me think if I can remember anything else I saw that was cool. Dave Ostrey's panel was awesome.
It was really good. I was in it.
Yeah, KBMOD was in it. Blah specifically with the gunner toilet shot.
He also tweeted me and berated me for not wearing my gunners on the podcast, so I had to go get them.
The panel was Dave Ostrey, John Drake from Harmonix, Dave Hevia, I think was his last name. He does Sprint's social media, but he's worked in video games in the past. Jeff Baldino, who does YouTube video game stuff. One Night Stand from Elgato, formerly of Astro. One of Swords, former Activision, I think. He doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure as soon as it was a social media panel, and as soon as I saw One of Swords, I was like, I've probably tweeted that guy hateful things before, because he was doing it when I was like playing Black Ops 1 and like way back in the day.
Oh yeah, that was a fun experience for everyone.
And then also, and I forget this guy's name, the sort of social media dude for the entire Xbox brand. So he was
Major Nelson?
not Major Nelson. He
Oh.
doesn't run the Xbox Twitter.
I thought he ran the whole company.
I thought he was Mr. Microsoft.
Yeah, isn't he Mr. Microsoft?
This guy does like the branding side more. He also does social media, but he does like kind of making the brand, which actually they had a good laugh at the beginning from all the Xbox One missteps.
Yep.
They were like, had a good laugh at him.
Yeah, might as well acknowledge it at this point.
Yeah. I
I
actually
still think-
don't know that he was there at the time for that stuff.
I still think my favorite slide was the one just titled "Yikes," and it was the one with the AT&T one wasn't too bad, but it was SpaghettiOs tweeted, "Take a moment to remember Pearl Harbor with us," and then they
Oh, yeah, I
tweeted a
remember
picture
that
of
one.
a SpaghettiO holding an American flag.
It was like an Iwo Jima SpaghettiO. Like it
Oh
was the
God.
worst.
It was
And
really
Dave
bad.
Oshry, Dave Oshry goes, like, what were they thinking? Like, never forget that we're delicious.
That was
Like,
really good.
we were laughing for the majority of the panel. Like, it was actually
It was a
helpful
good
for
panel.
social media stuff, to be honest. But it
Yep.
was also hilarious. I mean, if you guys haven't seen John Drake on various stuff that Harmonix does, or Giant Bomb, or numerous other interviews, or on Twitch with Harmonix, he is friggin' hilarious. Him and Dave were playing off each other real well. So,
Yeah.
all those guys had some like pretty good knowledge to hand out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was cool. That's the only panel I've ever been to in like 6 PAXs. So
Yeah, I actually attended two panels this year, and I'm now vowing to do more, especially because I got a free game.
you get to sit too. Like it's
Yeah,
so
which is really
underrated.
nice. Yeah.
The video of that panel should be up at some point. I'm not sure when, but they had really good stuff to say, especially about like actual helpful stuff about building a brand and how to use Twitter and stuff. They just shit all over Facebook. Just shit on it. Not one
That's because
positive.
Facebook is fucking terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Like, legitimately, objectively terrible.
They were saying that we had a thing called Sprout Social for a couple months, like a free trial of it. It was actually super helpful. It was a social media analytics company. And apparently, Facebook, right? So let's say you put a post up and we have 2,700 or so likes or whatever. So apparently it's so hard for like brand pages on Facebook now, or like fan
it's
pages.
terrible.
So unless you pay, they said literally, unless you pay money, you will not get noticed on anyone's feed. Even if you're a brand with 10 million likes, it doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
think it's like if you don't pay, you get like anywhere between like 3 to 6%.
Well, they were saying for them it's roughly 1%. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he was saying, I forget which one was the biggest one. Probably Xbox. But he was saying, yeah, we have like, you know, whatever it is, millions of likes, and we get like thousands of, you know, people saw your tweet or your post kind of thing.
Yeah, they can actually track like how many people.
Yeah, well,
it was
actually, I can
reached.
see it on ours. We get a good percent, but we, you know, it's a little different with us. But that's like, so basically, that made me not even want to use Facebook at all. Apparently, Eat24 left Facebook completely. Like they were just like, it's not even worth our time because we can't do anything.
They don't really need it.
No, but they wrote like a whole letter on their Facebook page to Facebook. And then shut it down. Like basically saying your algorithm is garbage, like there's no point in doing this. Bye. So
Well, also for people who haven't gone to PAX or who have gone to PAX and skipped panels, Ericat just pointed out in chat, and this is my first Gearbox panel, but Ericat said always go to the Gearbox panel because you will get free shit. Apparently this is normal for them. Although they did also make us all stand up, raise our hands, and then in unison pledge to buy all of the inevitable DLC and not forget their generosity. Literally those words, inevitable DLC.
So,
I might be buying that Borderlands Vita port. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, apparently it's really good.
but
But I'll have to buy a memory card from Sony that costs $1,000.
Yeah.
oh, Trials Fusion is hyped too. Looks pretty damn good. I know it's out in beta. You can get in right now, but it looks really sweet. That game looked good too. There wasn't, to me, it didn't seem there was as much. Although it is East, so it's not really the huge announcements of E3 are yet to come, but it just felt like there was less big AAA.
Feels like it was more stuff that either will be out very soon or stuff that is already out in early access.
Right.
But that's also just becoming the trend now. Is that, I mean, people are going to be in early access. So also like, I mean, the guys who can really generate hype are AAA guys, and people care less and less. Well, we care less and less about AAA titles as the years go on.
Well, I mean, Evolve was the only one that even stood out to me. Like,
Yeah.
didn't even notice I knew the pre-sequel booth was there. I didn't even really
Yeah.
notice it because of giant Evolve monster on the floor.
Well, it's also
like,
because it's Borderlands, and it's not going to be that different. It's going to be a fine game, but it's not going to be anything that's incredibly notably different,
Oh, thank you, Tim. Secret Ponchos, we also saw that. We'll be getting beta keys and hopefully being able to stream that soon. Secret Ponchos is like an 8-player beat 'em up, but it's all versus. And I think it will be online. It's pretty cool looking, though. Tim played it and said it was super smooth and responsive, which it needs to be for that type of game. So it's basically like 8-player PvP Diablo, which is pretty cool.
Sick.
So, but there was just not. Yeah. Oh, and PAX South was announced as well, which
too.
I love Texas.
Yeah,
I love it.
I'm going to PAX South over PAX East all day, every day.
Oh yeah, well.
All day, every day.
I'm assuming it's.
You also said you weren't going to PAX East this year.
Yeah, but now that I have an alternative completely to Boston, now I'm like totally.
You really hate
out.
Boston that much?
I really do not like Boston.
But now that it's like there's only like a 4-month period between PAXs now, whereas before it was like 7 to 8 months.
Soon it's gonna be like one. It's gonna be one every month. You just wait.
Well, PAX South is in January, which is when I want to get the fuck out of Pittsburgh, and it's in nice weather.
Texas does not have nice weather.
Well,
Boston. That's all I'm saying. Boston was lucky this year. We got lucky this year.
It was great this year. Also, they need to forever do it in April. Never do it in May. Getting in May is so fucking miserable. I'm sorry, March.
Yeah,
March.
it's been
so
terrible
miserable.
For 2 years.
Sounds like you're all a bunch of pussies.
All right, Minnesota.
Never lived through a Minnesota winter.
well, here we go. Minnesota winter.
Yeah, because I would
Why am
kill
I
myself
Southern?
if I was
Minnesota.
stuck in
I'm
Minnesota
not
in the
Southern.
winter.
Get in the boat. The winter's coming.
Why would we get in a boat for winter?
I don't know.
Get
That's
in
the
the
reason I
And
have
why are we
experience.
Scottish?
PAX South will not compete with Rooster Teeth Expo
It
or
should-
whatever. It won't
should
at all. Like,
It should go without saying that I haven't survived the Minnesota winter, because if I was in Minnesota for 3 months, I would kill myself.
Yeah.
yeah, like as Tina was saying, I just think Boston's a huge pain in the ass. Like in Seattle, I took 1 cab because that party was.
Well,
actually
Seattle is
miles
also
away.
a destination, and Boston is just a butthole of the earth.
There's no question. Like you cannot argue that. Yeah, Boston is a. I only went to Prime. I think I went to East twice, and I would never, even with my friends, I don't care to go again.
Well, like think of it this way: I would rather go to PAX South, and my flight to Boston is going to be like half what it would be to South, and I would still rather go to South.
Yeah.
I would still rather not go to 3 PAXs every year.
Basically, if you're from or live in Boston, you're a fuck boy.
Sorry, Rocco.
Sorry, Rocco. Yeah.
Sorry, Jerma. I don't think Jerma watches this cast.
You're a fuck
Boston
boy.
really isn't that bad. It's just like there's nothing there that I would like. If there wasn't a convention there, I wouldn't ever travel there.
No.
There's nothing there for
You
me.
don't
don't
like
mind
cobblestone
city,
streets
but-
everywhere and signs that don't make any sense.
I do love some Harvard Yard.
Navigating it is fucking terrible.
Yeah,
It
it's
is
the
the
worst.
Hey,
worst
the
sign
streets in
city.
Boston are just fucking weird.
Yeah, we're
There's
shitting
no
on. It's like the Ric Flair of cities. What does that even mean? But I love it. PAX Canada? No, never. As a Canadian person, myself, no, never.
Wait, you're Canadian, Dan?
I am
What?
part Canadian, indeed.
Oh, God.
Wait,
I-
My
people
father
actually
was
track, like,
Canadian,
the
born
heritage?
in Canada.
Part
trust you
Canadian.
anymore.
My dad was born in Canada.
That doesn't make you Canadian.
Yes,
That's
it
a
does.
citizenship thing.
I don't know if you can really track Canadian as a heritage. It's like saying I'm happy.
It's not a heritage.
Yes, you can.
It's absolutely not a heritage.
Take
Just
the
that
subway.
Any
you fuckboy.
niceness you have in you is from Canada. From
Yeah,
Canada,
there we go.
You know?
All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, go over some quick news, and then right into the viewer questions, bros. We'll be right back. PAX Russia. I would be down for PAX Russia.
I've never been to
The
Bakersfield.
attendees
but
are-
Bakersfield is shitty.
Bakersfield.
California.
Yeah, I've never been. I don't know.
The attendees are several bears. That is it.
Well, as far as since
If
we're
LA
in,
is the worst, why is Hollywood here? Why is everything that's happening here?
Anyway.
The
Hollywood.
entertainment industry, it's buzzing, you guys. I'm not sure if you're aware of there are these things called movies.
Literally, I have to wear Beats by Dre because the buzzing is so incessant in this area.
The high quality sound of Beats by Dre.
So the fucking Twitch party this year was in like a like basement club thing. Like it was super small area compared.
Was
to
it in
other
a nightclub?
Yes.
Are you going to complain about
Here we
sound?
go. He's been,
Yes.
Here we go.
No,
Because-
no, that's
because
irrelevant.
no, I mean, I don't think your argument is relevant whatsoever. But when the person who is paying you tells you to turn it down,
Okay, well that is different.
you
I
should
didn't know.
probably
Yeah, we
listen.
didn't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know
Yeah,
about
that is what occurred. And he answered Twitch. He said, "Dude, this is a club."
Can I ask you a quick question? Does this DJ's name start with R?
Yes.
Oh,
Jared was not pleased, by the way.
Okay, all right.
I was
I got it.
against this, but now that I know there are other
Factors,
yeah,
yeah,
there's
totally.
other factors. I didn't know that that someone had told him to turn
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
That's
This is a club,
'cause-
bro.
Yeah, if
Well,
if
you know,
you're trying
to
to
be
go
fair.
for a more social environment.
To be fair, turned down for what? Well, the club was also actually laid out like a lounge. There wasn't even like a
Yeah.
dance floor anywhere. It had this whole like social setting vibe.
Yeah.
that was Rishi chiming in on that whole situation.
Yeah, no, there was no dance floor, like Boss said. like-
We had to like make our own space to dance once I got really drunk. And oh, did I dance?
Okay.
Well, you probably made his night then that you were tearing up the dance floor at the end.
I mean, to be fair, by the end of the night, people were dancing, but
It was
Because that's 'cause
it was
everybody
not
was
Rishi.
incredibly
If it was,
intoxicated.
it would have been a lot better.
yeah,
There you go.
Um,
There you go.
it was pretty bad. Also, Garrettson sat on John.
Yeah,
Yeah,
other
he also
happenings.
sat on Hex. It looked like.
he
On
sat on
Hex.
Hex and poured
Yeah.
rum into his mouth from a distance. That is what occurred.
God bless Garrettson.
Also,
How Garrettson was Garrettson?
so
Like, was
all
he
right,
full
Garrettson comes into the party. All right, he comes over to me. He asks me why I hate him. That was the first thing he did because he hasn't been on podcasts in a long time. So he's like, "Why do you?
That's
why do
a
you?
similar reaction that I get.
Why do you hate me?" And I was like,
Why do you
"I don't
hate
hate you. You've just been, having sex with the PS4 for like 8 months." I was like, "Now that your game's coming out, let's get this done." So he should be on. He's now finally home. He should be on next week. But regardless of that, first thing he does is these guys right here need some shots.
Oh God. Rip.
Don't know what he ordered, but it was delicious.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It tasted really good. Mine was like a triple. Everyone
Yes.
else got like a normal
Was it
size
blue?
shot.
Oh, like
No,
a
it was
double.
red.
No, it was pink.
red.
It was very pink.
It had Red Bull in it and some other things.
And like 5 liquors.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was rough. It hit you really fast. But they didn't really have like shot glasses, so they were gonna like just fill these like miniature glasses to a certain extent to like about equal to a shot.
Mhm.
And he pointed at the one and was like, "No, top that one off," and then pointed at Dan and was like, "That one's yours." And that was
like,
probably
thanks.
equivalent to like a triple. But then because the guy had to top that one off, he didn't have enough for the others, so he had to make another one. So everybody ended up getting about a double while Dan got a triple. It
So
was delicious though.
then this fucking guy,
He's fucking gay.
he sits on Hex at some point in the evening, holds
Yeah,
him down,
so-
and pours liquor on his face. And the picture is so amazing. And then, apparently, and I do not actually know the full story around this whatsoever, he was bleeding from the head.
I saw the photo. It looked like he got a
It's
nasty
on
hit.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think somebody said he was fighting somebody, but I don't have anything to back that up.
Well, he was also shitting on this person very hard all night that I will type in chat and not say. Which Scott and Nick already know that Blah may not, but
Yeah, I don't care
Oh.
about that guy.
yeah. So he really doesn't like that guy.
Oh God! All right, totally.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's who he got in a fight with, but it might have been.
God, I fucking hope so.
Oh God, I haven't heard anything about this yet.
This was going straight to text message.
Yeah, get
So-
on that.
I mean, Twitch party was fun. Otherwise, but I mean, we were in a
There's always
club.
things to complain about.
Yeah, we were in a club last year, and it was
Just
not
you
too
boys,
loud.
just you boys, wait till the party for Zombie at Prime this year. We're going so ham. It's gonna be
God.
great.
Well, for instance,
Welcome
that
to that.
party where there was room to dance, you guys were not as loud as this dude.
yeah. Well, probably
Like,
also
it
if the
was-
space was real small too.
it was-
probably,
Like, it was so loud that, like, I mean,
It was deafening.
yeah, like it was.
My ears were
crazy
ringing
loud.
the entire next day.
That's pretty.
Oh, he fought
club
Hundar.
standard.
Okay, well that makes sense actually as well.
Wait, what was that?
He fought Hundar. That's who he got in a fight with.
Friend fight.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense now. Also, shout outs to Steve from Newegg for living through the remainder of the weekend after Friday. Because
Oh my God, yeah.
Did Steve go in?
Steve was fuck you, cost me everything drunk. At
I wish there. Me too.
At like 10 p.m. at the party. Like an hour into this thing, he was fucked.
Bless him.
So Steve from Newegg, shout outs for living through the day and doing a 12 p.m. stream the next day.
Wow.
I tweeted at him today. I'm like, I'm surprised you remember even meeting me. He's like, yeah, man, I remember everything. It was great. It's like, all right,
Jesus.
dude. But yeah, so those were the other PAX happenings. We'll just skip straight to the new releases. We actually talked a lot about PAX, so the length and girth of this cast is actually quite good right now.
It's impressive.
New releases this week, and this game actually looked interesting. I'd never heard of it until I looked today. Max: The Curse of the Brotherhood. It's by Microsoft Studios. It's a platformer. It actually looks awesome. It's on Steam. I did not catch the price. I think it's relatively cheap, but it looks super good. So that comes out on the 15th. Also, War of the Vikings is in early access. Apparently, it was in early access before this, but it was listed as being able to be purchased tomorrow. And Mobius Empire Rising looks like a pretty interesting point-and-click adventure. From April 15th, it comes out as well. Story-driven, point-and-click, of course. April 17th, Secrets of Redicon, I think is how you pronounce this game. The game was apparently at East. I did not see it, even in the Indie Mega booth. If you like Kentucky Route Zero, or I guess Journey might even fit into that realm of type of game, you may like this game.
To say Journey, here comes Nick obligatory comment about how it's the best game he's ever played. Come on, you know you want to say it.
It was the best game in 2013.
Okay.
So you can check those games out. No huge releases this week, I don't think. So, moving straight on into the viewer question.
Oh, wait, Journey was 2012, right?
Yes, and it won like every award known to man.
Yeah, it was also my best game of 2013 as well.
and this year, actually.
Probably 2014 as well.
That is like top 10 games for me.
So, first question from one of the better Twitter handles, or worse, I don't even... Speaking of Twitter, the dude who is at Nipnops is going to give me at Nipnops.
Was this confirmed? Did he tell you?
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, he DM'd me today.
Ooh.
He was like, I heard you want this like thing, because he hasn't tweeted in like 9 months.
I heard you want this, boy.
You gotta come over here and do something for me, boy.
Squeal for the Nipnops handle.
So what?
Squeal.
So initially, his tweet at me sounded like he wanted me to pay him, but like that isn't the case at all. He was just like, just tell me what I got to do. We'll get it switched. So
wow, what a nice person.
Yeah. But this guy's name is at Vaginasaurus, which is not a dinosaur that I've heard of. But in loving memory of the Ultimate Warrior, R.I.P., there was actually a moment of silence for the Ultimate Warrior before the Dave Oshry panel.
Like how we keep calling it the Dave Oshry panel, as though it was his panel.
It was his.
He kept advertising it as his panel, so his panel got approved. He said so. I mean,
yeah.
There you
go. What is your favorite wrestling finishing move?
Honestly, I don't watch.
Yeah,
I never watched
I missed wrestling, man. I didn't watch any.
I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling when I was a kid. My parents thought it would make me violent.
You all missed out on one of the great things on television.
I don't think
about being a kid. Yeah.
Everything I've ever seen about it does not seem great, and
the early '90s wrestling was amazing.
Yeah, I can totally get into it. The whole narrative thing. It's just
it's obviously over the top garbage, but in the best way.
Yeah, it was like trashy reality TV, fake reality TV before reality TV.
But wrestling is conscious of what it is.
Yeah,
That's the difference between it and a lot of like everything is over the top because it has to be on there, but everyone expects it to be. Like, you know, everyone knows it's fake. It's not like some big like that's not a thing anymore. But favorite finishing move of all time, I will answer it since no one else watched wrestling. The Razor's Edge is a good one. Bad Guy 0909. I'm gonna have to go with the Tombstone Pile Driver. Yeah, that's probably the best one. Undertaker, a legend. Everything Hulk Hogan did was retarded. This is one thing I watched a lot of old wrestling recently. Why did anyone like Hulk Hogan? Like, that dude was the worst.
Because he called everybody brother. They felt
His
kinship.
finishing move was to drop the leg. There's nothing cool about that. There's nothing. He did call everyone brother. He did do that a lot. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I
Even I know that.
with Hulk during his reality show about his family. So that's
Yo,
the
did you
only
see
way
his
I
sex
know.
tape though?
No, I didn't.
I did not.
watch it. I didn't want to watch it. Did you really watch it?
No, there's like a highlight version.
What?
A highlight reel? Is there a montage? Good lord.
Hulk Hogan's fucking sex tape.
God damn it.
So yeah,
You
shout out to the Tombstone, to the Steiner recliner. I do remember the Steiner recliner.
Oh wait, I know. No, this is my favorite wrestling move because it's the only one I know, and it's Rikishi's finishing.
Oh
move.
god,
It's
that's
called-
so gross.
in
Yeah.
he puts
Put your head between
ass
his
in-
butt cheeks.
Yeah, and then he like fucking.
Oh yeah. Why do I know that? I feel like
Fucking
I've seen
gross.
that.
Also, if you ever had to wrestle him, you had to be sitting there beforehand being like, if I gotta lose to this guy, this is what's gonna happen. This sucks.
This-
Yeah, like
I'm
we
gonna
knew
rip
ahead of
this
time.
dude. That's essentially what you're thinking.
I'm gonna
A
rip
fat, sweaty dude's ass crack is gonna envelop my face to end this
Toss
match.
this dude's salad.
God, that might have been. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, "Yo, you like new guy, you got to wrestle Rikishi tonight." It's like a rite of passage.
A hazing ritual, yeah.
You got to lose to Rikishi tonight. You got to eat his butthole. Stone Cold Stunner was amazing too, just because he put it on everyone all the time. That's why it was good. Could do it from anywhere. Yeah, but the Undertaker. At Purge84 asks, "What's your best tequila story?"
I don't have any. I don't think I've ever consumed
Jesus.
tequila.
That is
Good
actually
man.
the right answer.
Okay,
There's
so
one night in my life where I might have consumed tequila.
Yeah,
and
you
I've been
probably
alone.
did.
I probably did that night, but I've never consumed tequila consciously.
I don't have I don't drink tequila all that often. I don't think I drank any tequila when I vomited all over the rug, right? I don't think.
No, we just drank Jameson.
We were drinking
Tons
Jameson.
of Jameson.
That's what it was.
Oh, Jameson's good though.
Well, not when you drank 12 shots or whatever.
Tequila is
Okay,
Satan
fuck, fuck.
himself in a bottle.
Tequila, yeah. It's
yeah,
not real.
tequila is the devil.
There was everyone has a tequila story. It's like, no, smart people don't.
Oh, I do have a tequila story. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I
Go ahead,
do.
Blah.
I was 16.
Oh, this is already good.
Wow, boy.
I was on an exchange trip to Germany. So I lived in Germany for about 6 weeks. And so you're not supposed to be able to buy liquor in Germany until you're 18, but you can buy liquor, wine and beer when you're 16. But they don't give a shit, so they sold us tequila anyway. So we bought some really cheap, like 10 euro tequila. And we got annihilated in a hotel room in Dresden. And this kid, most of us were like relatively okay, about as okay as you can be drinking tequila. This one kid was like literally green in the face, like vomiting. And has anybody seen Brian Regan's stand up? Any of them? Do you remember the one where he's talking about like when one of like the kids would get hurt when you're like 6 and you don't know what to do? Like the one kid's like arm is like bending the wrong way and he's like, "Get some leaves," because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
That was us with this kid because we were 16. We had no fucking idea what to do, so we threw him in the tub, and then we're debating whether to run hot or cold water on him.
That's so good.
And then eventually, I think we just went. I don't know what the past version of forgo is. We just kind of decided, just fuck the water and just left him in the tub overnight and forgot about him. At some point, the chaperones came and checked up on us. It was 2 high schools that partnered up and went, and it was the German teacher of each of those. And they looked at him, and they knew that if he was under 16, and if you're under 16, you could not drink under any circumstances, or you would be sent home. And they knew he was 15, and they that's the last thing they want is for a kid to make it all the way to Germany and put his ass on a plane back home. Tell his parents that he was drinking. And,
Yeah.
honestly, they don't really. So they were like, oh, that's a really bad food poisoning he's got, and they left. That kid could have fucking died. He was like literally green. He literally had a green tint to his skin. Anyway, he ended up being fine, you know, really terrible hangover or whatever. And the following year, he was in our German class again, and his name was Ken. And every time he walked into the room, we were like, "Ken, you're alive. We thought you died in Dresden." And forever gave that kid a hard time about getting annihilated on tequila in Germany.
God. Okay, so tequila sucks for those that don't know, or if you don't drink yet. Just don't even go with it ever. It's the worst. There is no worse liquor, taste wise. It's just shit.
There's no redeeming qualities to it.
So, I was drinking in Chicago one night, and my friend had been living there. I've probably told this story before, maybe not though. So he went to this bar near his apartment. He was living there temporarily to actually buy a factory for his dad's business. So he was closing out the deal with these guys over several months to sell off all this stuff. So he was living in a high-end apartment in Chicago. And so he would go to this bar near him all the time to drink because he didn't know anybody in Chicago. And so he made friends with the bartender eventually. And so we got in there after a night out, and we were finishing out the night at this bar. And the bartender just gave us all shots of Patron. And we just did a bunch of those, and then we went and bought a magazine called Black Heat at a 7-Eleven. Which is
Ebony Porn Magazine.
Ebony Porn Mag. And it had the words "Great Tunnel Shots" on the front, which was one of the greatest phrases.
I assume that's where you can see your kidneys.
Pretty much. And eventually I was puking with one of my other buddies reading me limericks while he was sitting in the sink in his underwear. And this is where tequila leads. So
yes, it is.
But yeah, tequila sucks. There's not a redeeming quality about that liquor.
There are no
there's
good times.
Good tasting whiskey out there. There's good vodka out there. There's not.
There is good vodka, but it's
everybody buys vodka to mix anyway, so there's no point in buying good vodka.
Well, you're gonna mix it, and if you're gonna taste any kind of
yeah,
thing you can get at a grocery store, anything you would normally buy, it's all terrible anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great night, but I haven't had many tequila nights, frankly, because it's just gross. I would never, ever order tequila. The bartender was giving us shots. I wasn't... I would not have taken it otherwise. Yeah, Capstar was there. He was not amused with us back at the apartment either. But I have had tequila in Mexico and been taught how to taste it, and it's still gross. Yeah, I just can't do it. All right, next question. Yummy Man asks, if your dick was an Olympic bobsled team, what country would it be from?
Jamaica. It's simple. Everyone's seen Cool Runnings, and I think all of our dicks have had triumphs and abject failures.
Are they underdogs? Or are our dicks underdogs? Long shots to make it?
Long shots, there's... we all
Italy for Italian sausage puns.
Does Italy have a bobsled team? Most likely. They've got winter sports. They've hosted that.
Greenland.
Greenland?
Oh, God.
Does anyone live in Greenland? I'm looking.
Literally anybody? I do not think so.
Population of Greenland.
God.
56,840 people. All right. All right.
That's not a lot of people for a country.
It's not a lot of people, yeah. What is... Oh, there's towns in Greenland? I don't know what I'm looking at.
Yes, there are towns. Where do you think the people...
I don't know that there are, dude.
56,000 of them.
Oh, okay. The capital city.
There's no city in Greenland. It is just Greenland.
The capital
Everyone's
city of
homeless
Greenland.
and living in the woods.
Listen to this. Well, dude, we're dropping knowledge tonight. The capital city of Greenland is called Nuuk. And
dude, I love Modern Warfare 3.
And you...
What are you doing?
NUUK. Its population is 15,000. So no, there's not many
All right.
people in Greenland. It's the answer there. Knowledge.
Nick just
dropped
inhaled
on
an
me.
entire weed right next to me.
I inhaled my
Dang.
spit.
Greenland
Solid.
is definitely a country,
Greenland,
according
yeah.
to this. According
It's a
to
fucking
Google,
country. Who?
it's a
how can you
fucking
say-
country, mate.
Shout out to the North Korea. Who said North Korea? It's short and angry. Hedgy. Well done.
North Korea is like the dude in his 40s who buys a Camaro. Like,
Also, my dick is surrounded by a demilitarized zone.
Did you say North Korea could afford a Camaro?
well, it'd be a
highly
knockoff
doubt
Camaro,
that.
obviously. Maybe a Miata. this guy's
More
buying
like a knockoff of either of those. That doesn't actually go anywhere.
I think Jamaica's wrong, though. I don't think Jamaica's the answer. This is 4 white men. Jamaica is not the answer.
Just because
That's true.
Greenland is owned by Denmark doesn't mean it's not a country. Canada was owned by England. It doesn't mean Canada's not a country.
Greenland is an idea.
But it isn't.
Yeah.
The country.
All right, this next one from @Matthias.
God.
If you could change the ending of any movie, which would it be and how would it end?
I mean,
Oh God,
there's-
there's so many.
The easy answer is Spider-Man 3 with all of the characters that were in the film lining up in a row, being handed a magnum pistol and literally executing themselves on screen in front of all of their significant others, friends and family, finally culminating in the execution of Sam Raimi high above the city as he's dropped and lynched in plain sight for everyone to see. That would be my ending for Spider-Man 3.
That seems like it would go out of the normal Spider-Man plot.
It would, yeah, it would. And it would make it tough to make any more movies as well, but I think it's worth it.
Spoilerinos inbound, yeah, probably.
My answer is serious, and it's Toy Story 3.
What?
How would you
What would
change
you
it?
change about Toy Story 3?
I didn't like the open ending. I actually kind of wanted to be a somber ending,
No.
which would be
Couldn't
shitty
so.
for it would be shitty for a children's movie. But I wanted it to be like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the toys accepted that they're toys, and that was it.
Mm.
Not like they got to fucking continue the cycle of being children's toys. Like
It's like Dark
like you-
continue
like
the
I want-
cycle over and over
Yeah.
again.
it would be like the equivalent of like a toy death. Like they realized that their time has come, and then they came to terms with it. That was that.
Yeah.
That's a fucked up ending to Terminator 2, Stolpen. Arnold does John Connor before he jumps in the lava. I don't know about that.
You know what actually was really, what was a really good horror movie up until the end was Sinister. The ending is fucking terrible. Remember you saw
I didn't
Sinister.
see
You didn't see
Sinister,
Sinister yet? Sinister's really good. It's like one of the more recent horror movies, but the ending just fucking falls totally flat, and they show way too much. And anyway, I don't know what would I do. I would leave it a little more open ended than it was, and I don't know if anyone who saw Sinister, if you agree with me, but that movie overall was good, but the end's shit.
Okay.
6 cents.
What about you, Blah? You got yours?
Okay, so the ending of Batman Forever, right? Two-Face makes Batman choose, right? He makes him choose between saving his girlfriend or saving Robin.
Okay.
Okay, and he does some Batman bullshit and he saves them both because he's got the goddamn Batman, of course. Well, in my version, Batman just is like, I didn't like that chick anyway, and he just lets her die. But he acts like he's all sad, but he's not. And then him and Robin have, Robin helps him get over it, and then they fuck.
She's got
Wow.
straight to what we've all been thinking for years about Batman.
I was
and
hoping you were
Robin.
gonna go with like he saves the girlfriend and then Robin dies, but spoiler, he doesn't die, and then they do the Red Hood story. But no, you went with the fucking.
I actually didn't know Red Hood was originally Robin. I don't follow
I
DC
think it
comics.
is.
You went with the fucking option. You can watch the Red Hood movie.
Yeah,
on
no, I
Netflix.
went the
It's
fan
actually
I went
out
the
there.
fan fiction route.
Well, I'm
But
gonna
there's
look
the very end of the movie, I believe, is the chick. I forget her name, but she goes into the insane asylum. She goes to Arkham Asylum to visit the Riddler, played by Jim Carrey. And the warden's like, "Oh, he's been saying that he knows who Batman is this whole time because he actually discovered Bruce Wayne's identity." And she goes up and because she knows who it is too, and she's like, "You have to tell me who is Batman? Who's Batman?" And he's like, I Batman, because he's just gone insane. And it's a hilarious scene. So they have to still do that. So Robin has to do that now. Robin has to go interrogate the Riddler.
I would change everything at the end of the second X-Men movie of the original trilogy.
Really? The second one?
Is the second one? Well, I may be misremembering this. It has been some time. Is that God? Is this even spoilers at this point? I don't know.
No.
No.
That movie is more than 12 years old, I think.
The third one is just an angering piece of garbage.
Actually, I can kind of understand what you're about to say.
So she becomes the Phoenix, right?
No,
like,
that isn't 3. At the end of 2, she just dies.
She dies, okay? She dies at 2.
She dies, she gets drowned, but you can see like something pulsing underneath the water.
Yeah,
because
so A, that's not how Phoenix happens. All
Foreshadowing.
Right? It's just, that's not fucking
that
how
whole
that works.
Jean Grey storyline is not correct.
As soon as that occurs, actually, as soon as that ending occurs is when everything goes downhill, because you're like, really? This is where you're going to go with the Phoenix story? And then it just ruins the third movie entirely. Just entirely. Just by having her be the Phoenix that way, we could have gone to space. We could have had 6 movies. We could have had Apocalypse. I mean, we're going to get that now with the new one at some point.
Dude,
but
Days of Future's Past. I hope one of
it's going to be so good.
When somebody goes to the past and then they see X-Men 3 and they're like, fuck, we got to fix this, guys.
We got to fix this. Yeah, that they should have. Up until that point.
So how would you change? Oh, just to fit.
It would have been the
original
actual
comic.
Phoenix, not her just
Yeah.
like psion herself and going nuts and like. It's not how it goes.
Yeah, that's not how things happen
It's
in the
not how it
comic.
goes
Like,
in
even a little
Phoenix.
bit.
I mean, she does save the universe in the comics by becoming Phoenix. So I mean, but this one is just like, oh, she's dead. At the
She
bottom
saved like
of
10
the lake.
people. Right.
Oh,
I would also change the ending of Empire Strikes Back so that Darth Vader is
Really?
not Luke's father. It's Luke's gender ambiguous parent, so that there's equality throughout.
Are you the social justice warrior?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It is sad.
Oh, didn't he just
Sad
die?
that people see
You
gender
know
at all.
what? Saying that Darth Vader is his father, Darth Vader is a power figure, right? Like
Sure.
he is leading the Empire, right?
Yeah.
Well,
He's also a band.
He's right-hand man.
He's also like the
So
biggest
basically
band.
what they're saying is that being a father brings you to power, and that is just fueling the patriarchy, and I think that's wrong.
True. It's fueling the rape
That's true.
culture as well.
Yeah, it's
So,
fueling rape culture, and it's fueling
All
the
of it.
patriarchy, and I think we should have at least seen Princess Leia's vagina.
There should be, you know what it should be? What? How did we get to there? I was gonna agree, and then you just fucking did it.
Yeah, I was
wanna see
going to
Princess
agree
Leia's
with
vagina,
you.
I don't want to see her because I don't want to see Princess Leia's vagina because in a sexual way. I just think that the female genitals are powerful.
Oh my god, just please.
Yeah, there's no coming back now. I'm
No,
sorry.
you're too.
Nope.
No, I was gonna say, yeah.
Nick
I was
Fenton
with you with the whole.
Sarkeesian.
There should be 2 versions of the film: one where he's a woman, his mother, and one where he's his father, and one where he's 3 at least, and maybe one where he's 3. One where he's totally gender neutral, and one where he's. Each
I
of the
think
Pansexual Vader.
Darth Vader should be gender ambiguous, bisexual.
And what is really, if we think about it, what is a lightsaber but just a cock that cuts through
Yeah,
things?
it's
Another
phallic.
phallic-shaped object that has
Yet
all
another.
power. You see any vagina-shaped
There
objects
should-
that have power
Yeah,
like
there
that?
should
No.
be sabers that look like fleshlights to symbolize
Yeah,
vaginas.
yeah.
Something concave,
So like if you put it inside of it or like melt your hand or whatever,
Yeah,
it will go
something
through.
like that.
I like this. I need to talk to George. We're in the right place. We could talk to
Well,
George.
we need to talk to JJ because JJ's heading
that's
that
true.
now.
Yeah. Also,
But
we
I've
gotta
got some
talk to Carrie
connections, so
Fisher to
I
see
did
if
the
we can
shaky
use
cam
her
work
vagina
up.
for some stuff at this point. I don't
At
know if
this
Carrie Fisher's gonna be okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know if I
probably
want to
not.
see Carrie Fisher's vagina now. I'm gonna be
No,
honest.
have you seen her?
She real old
shit.
looking.
Holy shit, she is.
What do you, she's just aging, dude. Relax. I mean, it's the aging process.
No,
what are you?
but like-
Holy shit.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess she's.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He just pulled up a picture of Carrie Fisher recently.
Damn it. All right. Yeah, you're right. She does look pretty bad.
Yeah, she. It's
Sorry,
only in
Carrie.
recent years,
That's another
yeah.
Didn't she
viewer
have, like,
gone.
Didn't she have like
Yeah.
a drug problem too? So,
Yeah,
I mean,
she had some
she's
issues.
fair.
On Carrie Fisher having issues, we'll end on that note. right there.
Carrie Fisher on the podcast next week.
Can we get her?
Yeah.
Come on in.
Well, we were in talks, but now I don't know.
It can't be worse than Dave Oshry's panel ending on the line, "That is the best way to grab teens."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but thanks you guys for coming out to our small, intimate podcast. Very intimate for Scott and Nick. There
I'd like to call this possibly maybe we'll label this a fireside chat, perhaps.
Yes, KBMOD fireside chat.
Someone's on fire here.
I mean, all of you are flamers, so this should be fine.
So next week we may I say this is a very big possibility that we may be switching nights again, or not. We'll see. Brandon is getting married this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, fucking true.
Pussy.
And I will be at the wedding, and I'm not sure when I get back exactly, but I believe it is well before the cast. So I think we should be okay to have the podcast next week, but we'll see. Can't guarantee anything about that. We will know later in the week. But obviously Brandon won't be around, so if he's not around, I'm not around. No one can really host at that point. We were hoping we'll have one next week, but we need to have one because it's 420 Dankcast. Obviously.
Yeah, wow, that is true. Stream the wedding. I like that idea. I mean, Brandon works for Twitch.
Brandon's husband is lucky. I agree. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we'll have some other dudes who went to PAX. Maybe not though. But yeah, we'll see you next week, guys. That is it for episode 136. Later,
See ya.
bros.
Eat a dick.
I'm editing that out.